ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this episode of The Guido Goes Off. As always, folks, I thank you for watching. A big thank you to all the new subscribers, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, a big thank you to all subscribers, as we have now finally breached that 100 subscriber mark. Of course, a big thank you to each and every one of you. Words can't express my gratitude to each and every one of you that takes time out of your day whenever these videos come on to give them a watch and think to yourself, hey, why not? But we can always grow. The few but faithful can always grow. So if you are new to the channel and then you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. Of course, hit the bell for notifications of any new episodes. Of course, as you know, it's been a really busy week here on The Guido Goes Off. We had the big show here in Quincy with RCW at the Quincy Mall. A big thank you to everyone that turned out, helped out Bursting Bubbles, GPS Ministries, and the Horizon Food Pantry. Of course, if you weren't able to see it, we have the matches here on this channel. We're slowly but surely getting them up. Hence why I am using this camera so that we can get those up for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, how else do you celebrate 100 subscribers? Well, talking about 100 wrestlers. Ladies and gentlemen, it was released late last week. PWI, what used to be called the Female 50, has now become the Women's 100, a list of the top 100 female wrestlers in professional wrestling today. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, as always, I usually take some time out of my schedule to talk about this list, at least the top 10. Now, to kind of give you a bit of a history of this and what it entails. PWI does, puts up this 2 lists each year. Of course, the main one being the PWI 500, the top 500 wrestlers all over. There have been women on that list. Of course, comes out usually early at the end of the year because it takes a while to get to put it together. This year, they expanded the Female 50 to include 50 more, making it the Women's 100. Now, of course, the criteria, for those of you wondering, believe it or not, sorry, Nikki, wins and losses count in this. Wins and losses, quality of opponents, notable titles held, value to promotion also comes into play. Now, the grading period for this was October 1st of 2017 to September 30th of 2018. So, unfortunately, everything that happened at Evolution for the ladies, I know people were waiting for me to give my take on that. For the most part, it was a really great pay-per-view, but nothing that happened as it's going to be part of next year's. So what I do to break it down, I would love to break down all 100 lady wrestlers for you, but that would literally take 4 hours. So with that being said, I do pretty much cut it to the top 10. Go over some career highlights. Of course, as always, I value your opinions on this. So in the comment section below, of course, all the social media. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to it. The number 10 entry, and that would be the Pirate Princess, Kairi Sane. As we know, she did win last year, the inaugural Mae Young Classic, of course, that being before the grading period, and coming up a little short in her first bid to become the NXT Women's Champion. However, she did have a tremendous feud with Lacey Evans, defeated Candice LeRae and Nikki Cross in a triple threat for the #1 contendership, defeated Shayna Baszler at NXT Brooklyn 4 to become the NXT Women's Champion. Again, a great talent. That win for the title does kind of was toward the end of the grading period, so not very long with the title, hence why she ranks so low on the list. But she has at least cracked the top 10. So, with that being said, Kairi Sane, number 10. All right, up at number 9. Someone else that is friends with a couple other people on this list, and that is Stardom standout Mayu Iwatani. Now, ladies and gentlemen, of course, with the departures of Kairi Sane and Io Shirai, Iwatani did have to step up, and she did step up in a big way. As during the grading period, she did win the World of Stardom and Wonder of Stardom championships. She is the first woman in the Stardom promotion to hold both titles simultaneously. She, of course, unfortunately, she did lose both belts, but she is also currently an Artist of Stardom champion. That is their tag team title, with Tam Nakano. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, like I said, she's really stepping up in, as I said, Stardom now has, kind of a big void with the losses of Kairi Sane and Io Shirai. So of course, big kudos to Mayu Iwatani for stepping up there. Number 8 on this list, Nia Jax, the irresistible force, coming into the top 8 on this list. Of course, been kind of yo-yoing back and forth between being a heel, being a face. Really didn't catch her stride until the beginning of 2018, was starting up with that feud with Alexa Bliss, which inevitably led to her defeating Alexa for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. However, of course, the victory was short-lived as Alexa won Money in the Bank and cashed in that no more than a half hour later. I think it's one of the shortest times to hold the Money in the Bank contract. Of course, WWE mostly using her as a goodwill ambassador, promoting believing in yourself, being comfortable within your body, within your own skin, and which honestly you can't fault and is a wonderful thing to see. So, ladies and gentlemen, of course, now after Evolution, winning the Battle Royal, but again, that was after the grading period, so that does not count. Again, also a very limited time with the Raw Women's Championship, hence why she's not as high as this list. It's also the reason why Becky Lynch didn't crack the top. But anyway, congratulations to Nia, making number 8. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to number 7. Going into the SmackDown roster, and this would be, despite maybe my personal feelings for it, really earned this spot on this list, and that would be the fabulous Carmella. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Carmella had a banner year during the grading period. During that time, she acquired the longest time holding the Money in the Bank contract of anyone, male or female, at 287 days. Then, of course, cashing it in on Charlotte after a beatdown she received from the Iconics to become the SmackDown Women's Champion, and then beating Charlotte twice and beating Asuka twice. Now, we can fault how it was done, but like I said, wins and losses matter, and especially in a situation where you're holding that belt. She did hold the belt for quite a length of time, but then, of course, there was the triple threat match at SummerSlam where she lost the title to Charlotte. Of course, Becky in there, and we all know what happened after that. This grading period, whether you like it or whether you don't, there's really no doubt that this year, Mella was money. Number 7, Carmella. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to the number 6 spot, and this goes to the, now 2-time NXT Women's Champion, the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler. Of course, she was signed to NXT in October, so she got started right at about the start of the grading period. Did pretty much go on a tear in the NXT Women's division. Of course, brutalizing pretty much every opponent. Of course, the bullying of Dakota Kai. Then Ember Moon stepping up. Moon defeated her at TakeOver Philly in a very Pyrrhic victory because got a beat down afterwards. But then at TakeOver New Orleans, Baszler pretty much showing nobody's going to beat me twice. And in that case, at TakeOver Philly is where she became the NXT Women's Champion. And she, and then she pretty much went on a tear. Of course, that incredible match between her and Nikki Cross at TakeOver Chicago 2, where Nikki passed out smiling, but still passed out. But then, of course, came the match at NXT Brooklyn 4, which I mentioned earlier, where Kairi Sane took the title from her. Of course, we all know at Evolution she did gain it back with the help of Marina Schaefer and Jessamine Duke. But as I said, that was after the grading period ended. So, but still, Shayna is, interestingly enough, really, she's been playing her trade for like about 4 or 5 years now. She's also the only certified female catch wrestler in the United States. Getting trained by Josh Barnett. I think spent some time in at the Snake Pit under Billy Robinson, because she herself seeming to add a lot of British strong style. But like I said, it's very, very technical, very vicious, very submission based. So I can see her still. And now with the other 2 more of the MMA 4 horsewomen, you could see even more dominant Shayna Baszler. So number 6, Shayna Baszler. All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to the number 5 spot, Asuka. Ladies and gentlemen, while she wasn't a champion at all during that, she did win 2 very key things. The first of all being winning the inaugural mixed match challenge with The Miz as Asuka. Sorry. It was kind of funny, when Miz was starting to get beat down, screaming, "My streak! My streak!" And then of course winning the inaugural Women's Royal Rumble match. Of course, then after WrestleMania, her loss to Charlotte, she just kind of seemed to get lost in the shuffle. However, one thing that cannot be taken away is that, even though it concluded within the grading period, a 900-day winning streak. The longest in wrestling history. So again, big kudos to Asuka. Hoping to see more from her in the future. So your number 5 spot goes to Asuka. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the number 4 spot, the genius of the sky, Io Shirai. Of course, many people know her from the Mae Young Classic. Of course, getting into the semifinals. I know there are people are saying, well, it was taped before the grading period, so it happened before the grading period, and so it's counting. Getting that semifinal spot, unfortunately coming up short against Toni Storm, but that was a great match. I agree with a lot of other people that it could have gone longer and probably should have. Of course, even before that, I believe she was signed in April or May to developmental. But prior to that, she once again was voted Tokyo Sports News Female Wrestler of the Year, making it the 3rd year in a row. Of course, during this period, while she was still in Stardom, she did hold its highest honor, the World of Stardom Championship. I think we're just scratching the surface of what Io can do. And, sky's the limit, basically. So your number 4 on the Women's 100, Io Shirai. Well, ladies and gentlemen, getting into the number 3 spots, Charlotte Flair. Yeah, I know, I kind of below, but hey, number 3 is number 3. You can't argue with the success she had this year. During this period, she was the SmackDown Live Women's Champion for quite a bit of the grading period. The fact she defeated Asuka at WrestleMania ending Asuka's undefeated streak, winning the title again at SummerSlam in that triple threat match. But she then lost to Becky at the tail end of the grading period. Another really good year for Charlotte. You can't argue with success as much as I... But like I said, you can't argue with the success. I mean, ending the longest streak in professional wrestling, 2 reigns as the SmackDown Women's Champion, putting her on par with Trish Stratus, as both now have had 7 reigns as Women's Champion. It just seems like Charlotte is hitting her stride. So number 3, Charlotte Flair. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to the number 2 spot. Someone else who has had quite a year, kind of has tapered off due to some injuries, but during the grading period had a banner year, and that being Alexa Bliss. She started off the grading period as the Raw Women's Champion. Of course, keeping that title pretty much until WrestleMania, where she then lost it to Nia Jax. Prior to that, also winning the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber match, in which she had to defend that title. But like I said, she defended it, but then unfortunately lost it to Nia Jax. Then won the Money in the Bank ladder match. Of course, then getting it back at that pay-per-view. Again, like I said, most of this grading period, Alexa was the Raw Women's Champion. And of course, it's SummerSlam, where she dropped the belt to Ronda Rousey. And probably pieces of her as well. But again, like I said, also of course defending that title against Jackson, the rematch, the first Women's Extreme Rules match, which extreme. But again, like I said, banner year for Alexa. She does continue to improve, at least as far as a heel. Her in-ring can use some work, but she also does a lot of ambassador, and she's really popular with fans, which makes her a very sweet person, but a very crappy heel. Bad heel, bad. So again, number 2 on this list, Alexa Bliss. Alright, we only got one more person left. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the number 1 spot of the PWI Women's 100. I don't care. What, she's only been in for like 4 months. You can't make me say it. You cannot make me say it. Number 1 spot of the PWI Women's 100 this year goes to Ronda Rousey. Of course, undefeated since she started in March. Won that match at WrestleMania with Kurt Angle against Steph and Triple H. Pretty much went on a tear. Defeated Alexa at SummerSlam to become the Raw Women's Champion. Of course, considered to be one of the top people in WWE. Hey, she was in the UFC. Didn't see anybody fawning over Ken Shamrock this much. Or what about Dan the Beast Severn? No. Of course, her being this high on this list, of course, lends to the strength of her importance to the promotion. That being WWE, considering her one of its top stars. I really don't want to. I know there's been a lot of people saying she doesn't deserve that spot. But I was not allowed a vote in this, so unfortunately I've got to go with their decision. So your number 1 of the first PWI Women's 100, Ronda Rousey. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of The Guido Goes Off. As always, you can find the full list online. The issue of PWI will be coming out shortly. It will be available digitally and, of course, on newsstands. So what did you think of the top 10 in the PWI Women's 100? were your favorites on there, and you think some people that shouldn't have been on there. Let me know in the comment section below, and as always, you can talk to me via my social media. And as always, please like these videos, share them with everyone you know, and as always, if you have yet to join the Few But Faithful, hit that subscribe button and join. Again, a big thank you to everyone who has subscribed. We have gotten over 100 subscribers. Here's hoping for bigger and better things. Thank you very much. As always, I'm the Guido, and I think we're done here.